Change doesn't start when you see a better version of yourself in the mirror. That's the illusion society sells us, that transformation is proven by what's visible. But the reality is, the greatest transformations are invisible in the beginning. They start with a shift in your thinking, a decision in your heart, a refusal to keep living the same story until the inside changes. The outside will never feel enough. Think about it. A person can lose weight, build muscle, buy better clothes, and still feel empty. Why? Because their inner identity never shifted. They still believe they're not enough, still chase the next compliment, still fear the judgment of others. That's because the reflection only shows the shell, not the spirit. Without internal change, external winds feel hollow. When she began her journey, she didn't wait for the mirror to approve of her. She started with the decision that she was worth showing up for, even before the evidence showed up. That's the power of internal change. You don't wait for proof. You create it. You start talking to yourself differently, acting on your goals, making choices that honor your energy and your worth. And here's the truth. The inside always creates the outside. When you shift your beliefs, your behavior follows. When your behavior shifts, your habits align. When your habits align, the physical changes naturally appear. It's a chain reaction. But it starts with your mindset, not your measurements. Most people have it backwards. They think, when I see the change, then I'll believe in myself. But those who truly transform flip the script. When I believe in myself, then I'll see the change. It's not about waiting to feel confident. It's about deciding to be confident and letting your actions follow that decision. She understood this. That's why her transformation lasted. It wasn't a quick fix or a temporary push to meet some beauty standard. It was a full rewiring of how she saw herself. She started making decisions from a place of love and self-respect, not desperation or self-criticism. And because of that, her growth wasn't just physical. It was emotional, mental, and spiritual. So if you want to change, stop staring at the mirror for motivation. The mirror is just glass. Look inward. That's where the real reflection is. When you change the way you see yourself on the inside, the outside will catch up. And when it does, you won't just look different. You'll be different. The mirror is a tricky thing. It can be a tool, but it can also be a trap. If you let it, it will lie to you every single day. One day, you might look into it and think you're on top of the world. The next, you might see nothing but flaws. But here's the truth. The mirror hasn't changed. Your mind has. That's why you can't let it define your worth. The mirror reflects only the surface. It will never show the battles you've fought, the growth you've earned, or the courage you've built. It doesn't see your resilience, your kindness, or the way you lift people up. It doesn't measure your capacity to love or your ability to overcome. And yet, too many people live their lives as if that piece of glass is the ultimate judge. She stopped letting the mirror tell her story. She realized that when you live for its approval, you're in a constant state of negotiation, always chasing, never arriving. The mirror will never look back at you and say, "You've made it. You're enough. You can rest now." It will always find something else to question. And if you let that voice control you, you'll never feel free. That's the trap. External validation is like a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much you pour in, it will always leak out. The moment you base your value on what you see, you're at the mercy of bad lighting, a bad angle, or a bad day. But when you base it on who you are and how you live, nothing can take it away from you. She made a powerful choice to measure her worth in values, not visuals. She chose strength over symmetry, energy over perfection, joy over judgment. And when she did that, something amazing happened. The mirror stopped being a critic and became just a neutral tool. It was no longer a ruler of her life. Now, she uses the mirror the way it was meant to be used, to check if she has spinach in her teeth, not to decide if she's worthy of love or success. She understands that the mirror can reflect her body, but only she can reflect her soul. And that is far more important. When you stop letting the mirror define you, you take your power back. You stop living in reaction to a reflection, and you start living in alignment with your purpose. And in that moment, you are no longer at the mercy of what you see, because you know who you are, and no piece of glass can take that away. Transformation doesn't happen because of one big, dramatic moment. It happens because of small, consistent decisions stacked day after day. Most people are chasing the one big change, the magic program, the perfect plan, the overnight breakthrough. But the truth, it's the little choices, repeated consistently, that rewrite your life story. She didn't wake up one morning completely different. She woke up one morning and chose to take one step forward. And then the next day, she chose again. Those choices didn't always feel exciting. In fact, sometimes they were boring, hard, and unglamorous. But here's the magic. Consistency beats intensity. What you do daily will always outweigh what you do occasionally. Every morning, she had a decision: stay comfortable or step forward. Some days, comfort whispered louder, but she understood that every time she chose action over excuses, she was casting a vote for her future self. Each meal she prepared, each workout she completed, each moment she paused to breathe instead of react. Those were the building blocks of her transformation. That's the thing most people miss. Change doesn't demand perfection, it demands persistence. You can have bad days. You can slip. You can even take a step back. But as long as you keep making the decision to get back on track, the momentum builds. And when momentum builds, change becomes inevitable. She stopped thinking in terms of, what can I achieve by next week? And started asking, who am I becoming in the next year? That shift freed her from chasing quick fixes. She realized that lasting transformation isn't measured in days or even weeks. It's measured in the person you become because of the discipline you've practiced. Daily decisions also shape your identity. The more you choose the behaviors of a strong, confident, healthy person, the more you start seeing yourself as one. And when your identity shifts, your actions naturally follow. She wasn't just trying to change. She was becoming the kind of person who lived differently by default. So, if you want transformation, stop obsessing over the finish line. Focus on the decisions you're making today. Those choices are the bricks. Your life is the wall. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look back and see that your daily choices built something strong, beautiful, and completely unshakable. Confidence isn't something you earn only when you hit a certain weight, build a certain muscle, or fit into a certain size. That's the lie the world sells you. That confidence is the reward for meeting some external standard. But here's the truth. Confidence is a decision you can make today, no matter what the scale, the tape measure, or the mirror says. She discovered this when she stopped waiting for a perfect body to feel worthy. She decided she was done postponing her life until she hit a goal. She walked into rooms like she belonged there, spoke like her voice mattered, and carried herself with the energy of someone who knew her value. Because she chose to. That choice didn't come from the mirror, it came from within. The dangerous thing about tying confidence to a body type is that it makes you fragile. Bodies change. Life changes. If your self-worth depends on maintaining one specific look, it can vanish the moment life throws you a curveball. But when your confidence comes from knowing your strengths, your resilience, and your character, it's untouchable. She understood that people aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to authenticity. The magnetic energy you feel from confident people isn't about their shape. It's about the way they own who they are. She stopped trying to be flawless and started trying to be fully herself. And that's when her confidence became unshakable. Confidence is a muscle you build through action. Every time you face a fear, speak your truth, or honor a promise to yourself, you make a deposit into your confidence account. She built hers one decision at a time, showing up for workouts, setting boundaries, speaking with conviction, and refusing to shrink herself to make others comfortable. And here's the wild thing. When you choose confidence first, the external results often follow. Because you're operating from a place of strength, you take more consistent action. You take better care of yourself. You stop sabotaging your progress. Confidence fuels action, and action fuels transformation. So don't wait until you look a certain way to be confident. Choose it now. Wear it now. Walk into life with it now. Because the truth is, the world responds not to the way you look, but to the way you show up. And when you show up with confidence, you've already won. Compliments feel good, but they fade fast. Self-respect, on the other hand, is fuel that never runs out. The problem is, most people chase the quick hit of approval from others instead of building the unshakable foundation of self-respect from within. And here's the difference. Compliments depend on what other people think. Self-respect depends on what you do. She realized she had been living for that next. You look great. Or, wow, you've changed. And every time she didn't hear it, she'd doubt herself, question her progress, or feel invisible. That's when she understood. If your confidence rises and falls based on someone else's opinion, you'll never feel stable. So she stopped chasing applause and started chasing alignment with her own values. Self-respect is earned in the quiet moments when no one's watching. It's in the discipline of keeping promises to yourself, showing up when you said you would, speaking the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. She found that the more she honored her own standards, the less she needed others to validate her worth. The world teaches us to put a higher value on being liked than on being respected, even by ourselves. But being liked is fragile. It can change in a heartbeat. Self-respect, once earned, is solid. It becomes the backbone that holds you upright, no matter who's clapping and who's not. She started to notice something powerful. The less she sought compliments, the more confident she felt. And ironically, the more confident she became, the more compliments came naturally. But here's the key: by then, she didn't need them. They became a bonus, not a lifeline. When you choose self-respect over compliments, you stop playing to the crowd and start playing to your own mission. You live by principles, not approval ratings. You measure success by how closely your actions match your values, not by how many people noticed you today. So stop living for applause. Build the kind of life where you could disappear from social media for a year and still wake up every day proud of who you are. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't fade, because it's built on the one person's opinion who truly matters, your own. When you change for approval, you become a performer. Your actions are shaped by what will get the loudest applause, the most likes, the biggest nods from the people around you. But when you change for your purpose, you become unstoppable. Because purpose doesn't fade when the crowd goes home. It fuels you even when no one is watching. She used to chase the approval of everyone. Family, friends, strangers on social media. And the more she chased it, the more exhausted she became. Why? Because approval is a moving target. One day people love what you do, the next day they question it. Living for approval is like running on a treadmill. You work hard but never truly arrive. Her breakthrough came when she realized her life wasn't a stage. It was a mission. And missions are personal. They're not up for public vote. She asked herself, what do I actually want? What lights me up? What feels meaningful to me, regardless of who notices? Those questions reconnected her to her own compass. When you live for purpose, you stop bending yourself to fit someone else's mold. You set goals that matter to you, not because they look good on paper or sound impressive at a dinner party. And here's the magic. When your goals are aligned with your purpose, the discipline to pursue them feels less like pressure and more like privilege. She started saying no to things that didn't match her mission, even if they made her look good in the short term. She stopped chasing trends and started building a lifestyle that supported her long-term vision. This wasn't rebellion. It was liberation. She was no longer tied to the roller coaster of public opinion. And the beautiful thing, when you change for your purpose, the results often surpass anything you could have imagined chasing approval, because purpose taps into your deepest source of energy. It keeps you going when the compliments stop, when the likes disappear, when the room is silent. Purpose is the fuel that lasts. So here's the truth. The most powerful transformation happens when you look in the mirror and know that the person staring back at you is living for something bigger than validation. Change for your mission, not the masses. Change for the life you want, not the life others expect. Approval fades, but purpose leaves a legacy. You see, she's living proof that the greatest transformation is not measured in inches, pounds, or photos. It's measured in freedom. Freedom from the scale. Freedom from the opinions of strangers. Freedom from that voice in her head that said, "You're not enough." She didn't just change her body, she changed her life. And now I'm asking you, when is it your turn? When will you stop negotiating your worth with a piece of glass? When will you stop asking for permission to feel proud of yourself? Your life is happening now. Your story is being written now, and you hold the pen. Stop waiting for the mirror to approve of you. Stop waiting for the world to validate you. You are not a project waiting to be finished. You are a masterpiece already in progress. Start making the decisions that align with your purpose. Build self-respect that no one can take away. Choose confidence today, not someday. There will be days when the mirror tells you lies. There will be days when no one notices the work you're putting in. But those are the days that matter most. Because those are the days you're proving to yourself that you're not in this for the applause. You're in this because you've decided you are worth fighting for. One day, you'll look back, not just at your reflection, but at your life, and realize you've built something unshakable. And when that day comes, you won't need anyone else to say, "Well done." You'll know it in your bones. So let's make the decision right now. Change for yourself, not for the mirror. Change for your purpose, not for approval. And when you do, you won't just transform how you look. You'll transform how you live, how you love, and how you lead. Because the truth is, the most beautiful thing you'll ever wear is the life you create when you finally decide, "I am enough right now, and I am ready to rise."